Hello, this is Harlan and Connor with Tracking the Cross, and we are at the Okefenokee Swamp. We are exploring the moonshining stills, but there is some extra information that you will see in this video. Bye!
My name is Will, and we're here at the Okefenokee Swamp Park. What I would like to tell people is that the swamp is more than almost everyone thinks. It's a collection of ecological marvels and amazing history from the formation of the swamp up until the modern day. You gotta come out and see for yourself what it is. We have a 25% off locals discount for if you have an ID that shows you're in one of the neighboring counties. And we have multiple entrances around the swamp too. It's not just about the swamp park, it's about Okefenokee Adventures down at the National Wildlife Refuge, and also Stephen C. Foster State Park over by the Fargo side of the swamp. So come on out, get on a kayak and a canoe and see what the swamp has to offer.
And here's Joe, giving us information on moonshining.
Corn, sugar, and water was the three main ingredients. What some of the old moonshiners used to do, they like to get out here in the swamp on some of these smaller islands, kind of secluded. That way they could grow the sugar cane for the sugar, they could grow the corn, and they could have the rainwater they collect there, actually use the water right out of the swamp here. Oh, yeah. Most of the early stills weren't very big stills, maybe 3, 4, 5 gallons at a time in operation. And back then, in the old days, it was the source of income to support their families. That's why a lot of the old moonshiners did. It wasn't uncommon where some of the sawmills was here, but there was always smoke from the sawmills. They could have moonshine still somewhere around the sawmill, and the smoke would be covered up by them making lumber and stuff in the sawmill. And then you heard of places where people was using car radiators and stuff to go through, and people was going blind from the lead coming out of the radiators and stuff.
I've got a friend who said that his grandfather was a moonshiner who actually got pretty much paralyzed from the waist down because of tree. Yeah.
100-pound bags of sugars back in the old days that kind of got the government's attention real quick. That's why a lot of them tried to grow as much of the stuff as they could, kind of keep down fishing. Or the train tracks a little bit better, more complete, even though the coral ain't here and some of the other ones. A lot of the stills we have here, we got a kind of a shelter over to help protect them a little bit. Most of the moonshiners didn't have covers over the top of them. Now they would try to find thick catted areas where the trees would kind of break up the smoke and stuff like that if they could. Of course, back then they didn't have the satellites and the helicopters and things like they have today. So you may have to watch your head here on the bridge. Old stills were made out of copper. A lot of the ones today are made out of stainless steel or copper. I'd say this still here is probably maybe a 4 to 5 gallon operation. We had a little nickname for the moonshine here in the swamp. We call it block and tackle. They say if you could drink a pint, walk a block, you could tackle anything in sight. Now, of course, you know they call it white light and corn whiskey.
Now here's Will, taking us to a turpentine still and a moonshine still accessible through their train tours.
And so you'd have these cat faces cut in the base of the tree that would constantly drip sap. We haven't cut these open in a bit, so you can still see there is still some sap forming because the bark hasn't fully regrown, but it's not like open and weeping like a normal big fresh cut face would be. But it would collect in these tins, and you'd have sometimes forced labor and usually just really lowly paid labor that would come and harvest those, pour them in a giant collection, and then they'd have to ship it off for processing in a very similar style to moonshine. It's a purification process where it gets out all the impurities and stuff.
Hey guys, this is Connor from Tracking the Cross. Let me tell you something. I've lived here 30 years, and it has been the first time I've gotten out on a boat in the Okefenokee Swamp. Even if it's just for 30 minutes, you have to do it. It's so peaceful out here. And like I said, Waycross has been my home for 30 years. Y'all get out here, you'll learn something new, even if it's in your own backyard. Come out to the Okefenokee Swamp Park.
It's a Friday night in Waycross, Georgia. You're off work and ready for a night out. But where, you may ask? We know just where to go. Wiley's Top Shelf, located at 409 Alice Street in downtown Waycross, is the place to be. Come enjoy your favorite ice-cold beverage, fresh food, live local tunes, and an evening out on the town. With a vast selection of food and drink choices on the menu, Wiley's is sure to have whatever you're craving. Next time you're hankering for a good time, check out the Top Shelf and tell them we sent you.